I want problems always. That's literally women. That meme is such a good meme to represent women, right? Because women are just pure chaos. All they care about is drama, 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 me, drama, drama, drama. But it's nice when a woman comes online and speaks of this.
Women's love of chaos ruins marriage in devastating ways
I think it ruins society too.
that most people don't even notice. It drains men of their time, energy, and ability to focus
Drains my patience to the freaking bone.
on the things that are actually important in life. But these women can't imagine living any other way because they not only thrive on the chaos and drama, but in many ways, they need it.
Mm.
Otherwise, they would have to be aware and accountable for their thoughts and actions.
What? Accountability?
Especially when it comes to their marriage.
Yeah, that's what, when we watch like Superman and stuff, I think when, they, Batman or Lex Luthor or something puts kryptonite on Superman's chest and it just turns green and veiny. I definitely imagine that when I think of women taking accountability.
It goes like this. Most women have never taken 20 minutes to evaluate their lives, thoughts, or actions.
Which is crazy, guys. I evaluate my life constantly. Constantly. Women have never even done it for 20 minutes ever? What the freak?
Now, I don't mean 20 minutes per day, per week, or even per year. 20 minutes ever.
What?
Which is why so many of their brains are like the homes of hoarders, full of junk and pointless garbage that has never been evaluated, sorted, or cleaned out. Ever. I mean, if we think about it, how functional is something that gets completely ignored for many, many decades?
True.
Exactly. So, these women have a lifetime of unresolved stress, contradictions, and false assumptions competing for time and space as they all float around in her head, each fighting for a chance to express themselves to the world. Which is why, whenever you hear this type of woman talk and you wonder, what the heck is she thinking? You know, she isn't, because she can't. How could she? Things are simply too layered and jumbled to possibly create anything that resembles logic and reason.
I mean, I'm sure it's just feminism just pile on more and more data points to these women. And it's not real data points. It's just, I guess we would call it speaking points or talking points. And that's all they know. Like, what do you hear when used to go to war and build houses? Why would you bring that up? That doesn't even make sense. Oh, I know why you brought it up. Because the feminist propaganda told you about that, to say that.
The trickiest part? She never has pressure to address this situation because this mess of garbage and contradictory beliefs is passed off as emotions, which society has given all women the right to base their lives upon, which is kind of like basing your life on horoscopes. So,
Which they
she
do.
feels justified in letting her brain, mouth, and behaviors react from that confused place all day, every day. And if a man calls her out on it, yep, he's a mean, controlling, bully abuser. I know this sounds harsh, but tell me where I'm wrong.
She's not.
Now, when it comes to their men, it looks like this. Most men have no idea that women live like this.
I did not think that they never self-reflected at all. I thought maybe seldomly, but not even at all? Not even for 20 minutes, period, and out of their lifetime is a trippy thing to learn right now.
I mean, honestly, how can they possibly be prepared or knowledgeable enough to even imagine this amount of dysfunction exists.
True.
They can't, especially in the cool chicks they married. So when her mask drops and her man starts dealing with such a hornet's nest of chaos and dramatic exercises on a daily basis, he's flabbergasted. So, even though he is doing his best to be a great protector and provider, he is simply unable to make enough sense of her behaviors to get a grasp on what is actually happening. This amount of confusion throws off his connection to reality in every way, because marriage is the foundation of every married man's life. How he communicates, sets his schedule, raises the kids.
It makes sense because it's such a big part of our lives. Why wouldn't we schedule around it?
Talks to his boss, everything. So, since so much of his life is impacted by this kind of wife, he loses track of his priorities and becomes less capable in doing the main jobs he has as a man in this world. It's
Makes
almost
sense.
impossible to have a good life with this woman because she operates from a broken belief system.
Yes.
And all relationships are dragged down to the level of the weakest person. Despite all the evidence to the contrary, society has convinced her that she is entitled to these thoughts and behaviors. So, any attempts to help her are met with defensiveness and angry attacks.
I mean, you can't imagine. Like, society's always told me one thing, and then all of a sudden, that wasn't the case. It's just like, men getting a red pill, then you're getting that red pill rage. It's like, oh yeah, I lived life this way. I assumed everything was this way because I was told everything was this way, but that wasn't correct. Yeah, people would get frustrated.
The likelihood she'll change is very, very small
Yeah.
without something major happening.
What did I say? People hardly ever change, and if they do, it's usually for the worse.
Because, 1, she will have to admit that her thoughts and behaviors, even though socially acceptable, are unhealthy. 2, be willing to honestly evaluate her programs and belief systems. And those 2 things are exactly what she's avoided thousands of times in her life. Cleaning up this mess would take more awareness, accountability, and thoughtfulness than she can imagine, much less attempt
They're just not capable, is what the doc is saying.
on her own. However, it will happen if she stops interacting with people who normalize her crazy behavior,
So other women,
starts to associate with people who call her out for the chaos, finds enough peace within herself to accept the vulnerability of admitting her beliefs are wrong. This is clearly a real situation that impacts almost every marriage to some degree. If you'd like help with your specific circumstances, check the description. Shout out to Kevin Brady for being a pillar of our community.